Alright guys, so welcome to today's video. In today's video, I would like to create something completely new. So today's topic is going to be about the Your Bizarre Adventure skill tree, okay? So I know that many of my subscribers do play JoJo games, and especially that one, and I have started to play it as well. I've also recorded some stuff, so some funny moments for you. So stay tuned, of course. We're going to upload some gameplay on that game, but let's focus on a skill tree for today's episode, or for today's video, or upcoming videos also. So I'm not going to explain what the skill tree is about because I expect you guys to know how the skill tree does look like and how it works, okay? So I'm just going to show you a method on how to recreate that. Okay, so let's start with a pretty easy skill tree at this point. So I'm just going to build some stuff right here. And yeah, so I'm going to create this block, and this block is going to be the beginning. So the beginning of your skill tree. Let's actually create a folder. And let's call this one skill tree 1. So I think that I'm actually going to create some kind of mini series. So there are many features we could add to the skill tree, and showing everything within one video is nearly impossible. Therefore, I'll probably create some kind of mini series with many episodes. So stay tuned on that as well, guys. Okay, so now we are going to create this connection right here. Just like this. There we go. Come on. So let's call this point 1. Let's call this point 2. Or not, well, not point, but let's call them skill. So skill 1, skill 2. Okay. Yeah, skill 3, and we could just repeat this if you guys want to. So let's first of all keep it this way, because we want to keep things easy at the beginning. We will, of course, in future episodes expand the skill tree with some more branches right here, so left and right. But let's just keep it easy for the beginning. So let's make the the skills right here neon, so the material. Let's keep the rest smooth plastic. So what we have to do is that we somehow have to, well, create a button which, when we click on it, makes us focus on this thing right here, okay? So that's one method to do it. I think that you can also do it with wait, how's this called? A viewport frame. So this should work as well. But I'm gonna show you this method right here. So there are several methods on how to recreate a possible skill tree, so this is not the only possible methods at this point. So let's put it on this black surface, otherwise we'll see the space plate right here. And we also have to hide this whole skill tree somewhere. Background. Maybe not here, but let's put it up at this point. And also make sure to make cast shadow, or to disable cast shadow. And there we go. So if we would have had this perspective right here, then it would actually look like the skill tree from Your Bizarre Adventure. So make sure that everything is anchored inside of here. Select everything. Anchor. Okay. Could be that we have to expand this background because it's basically just too small. There we go. So let's first of all create this button. Next button, and let's call this one, yeah, well, skill tree opener whatsoever, so skill tree. And this one is going to be the button to open up our skill tree. And I'm not going to design this button or anything, so I'm just going to have this button right here just to show you how to create this. So I'm not going to design the button as I told you. So skill tree. So the main focus is actually on recreating the skill tree and not on designing a button or something like that, because I think that you guys are capable of doing that as well. So there is no point in doing so. Okay. We actually should move this local script inside of here. And let's call this one skill tree handler, because this one right here is going to be responsible for a lot of things. It is first of all going to skill tree button. It is going to make sure that the skill tree is being enabled or disabled once you click on the button, you know. So script parent skill tree. Now, skill tree button, mouse button, one click, connect function. We can actually have a full variable at this point, because this whole thing is just going to run within the script. So this one is going to check whether enabled is false, and this enabled right here represents whether the skill frame is currently being viewed or not. And of course, it is being viewed when you have clicked on the button. So enabled false means enabled has to be true. So if it is not enabled, and if we have clicked on the skill tree, then we want to enable it, and we want to move our camera onto the first part of this skill, part right here. Okay, so what we also have to do is that we have to retrieve all of the parts, all of the camera stuff, what I'm talking about. So cam workspace, bring cam. Okay, now local tween. So I'm going to work with tweening. So tween, basically you have to imagine that you have a part, an instance, which has a properties list, and this properties list has properties such as C-frame, position, transparency, whatsoever. And what tweening does is that you have your instance in the current state. Okay, let's say that the current state consists of transparency 0, means it's not transparent, so you can clearly see it. Now, if you want to make the part invisible, but not right away, so you want to have some kind of transition, then you use tweening. So what tweening does is that it basically creates a transition from the current state, means transparency 1, to a goal state you want to achieve, so transparency equals 1. And yeah, it just creates a transition in between, and it just looks very, very fancy. So that's basically what we are going to do. But I don't think that we should actually do it with tweening right now, because you have to imagine that you're currently playing. So let me just quickly demonstrate this. So if we would do it with tween service now, so let's imagine that you're walking around right here, and then you hit skill tree, then you basically have a transition from your character right here going up to this skill frame place whatsoever, and that's not what we want to do. So we only want to have the transition in between when we click the first skill and the second one, the third one. So that's going to be the point where we are going to use the tweening. So we won't use the tweening for now. So cam C-frame, so we're just going to do it right away. We could add some kind of transition by having another frame right here, a totally black frame, which makes everything invisible, or which covers up everything, so even the whole game. And this one comes up with tweening and goes away with tweening. So that could be a possible transition we could add. And I also consider doing that because having this cam.c-frame part right here, which just makes the camera go to this first skill right away, just looks awful. But we'll see. So cam c-frame. Okay, the next thing we need is also that skill tree folder. So skill tree folder, workspace, skill tree. There we go. So camera c-frame equals. Now we have to refer to this first skill right here, to that skill c-frame. So skill tree folder, 3, skill 1, C frame. Now multiply it with another C frame, and that's important because if we would just let this thing be as it is, so cam.cframe equals the first scaled C frame, then we would probably have a C frame like this, so something like that, okay? So we need an additional C frame to move this thing up and to even rotate the camera down. So we'll also need a C frame that angles. So C frame angles, probably math rat 45, probably. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. One more thing we of course have to do that we have to make sure that the camera type is set to scriptable. Otherwise, we won't be able to do anything. Okay, so that was the wrong angle. Let's try this one out. So math rat 45 was not good, so let's use 90. That. Alright, isn't good as well. Let's try this one out. So the x-axis. Okay, so that's better. Problem is that it just faced in the wrong direction, so let's just add this minus to it. And there we go. So we just have to increase the C frame now to make things actually look pretty good. And there we go. So as you can see, we have now stepped one step further to not further, but the opposite. So we are now one step near to what we actually want to achieve. So we have this skill frame right here now, and a skill tree right here, and what we have to do is that we have to implement that. Clicking on each skill right here makes the camera go with it. And that clicking actually unlocks something, and that the port's color change. So those are things which we will deal with in the next episodes, guys, because I don't want to make 2 hours, 3 hours whatsoever of videos as I've done in the past, because I have the feeling that many of you do not watch them, and well, that's not good for you, but also not good for me, to be humble. And yeah, so we'll continue with this one in the next episode, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If so, leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all of your friends, leave me feedback in the comment section, guys. Take care and see you in the next episode.